In this video, I want to show a quick comparison of performance on my system of Update 1 and Update 2 of Elite Dangerous Odyssey. So let's take a look.
Immersed Robot.
Hello everyone, welcome to Immersed Robot. So I started both of these videos docked at a station. Now you can see that we're both running at 45 FPS locked in reprojection, and frame timings are very similar in that section. But when we get out and I'm walking around the hangar area on that 2D display in front of me, you can see quite clearly that Update 2 is behaving much better here. You can see that the performance is pretty much locked at 90 FPS in this area, whereas it's fluctuating far more in Update 1. Now these are not the exact same station, so that might account for some of this behaviour, but I do think that they usually, performance is similar enough that we can take this as being some kind of sign that there is improvements in this area. And when we step out into this main area of the station, you can see that generally things are running similarly, although the frame timings does seem to show it's slightly better on Update 2, and the reprojection ratio is far better as well overall, I would say. And when we get to this section, you can see that we're running pretty well at 90 FPS, whereas on Update 1 we are not. So that's a difference as well, with slight improvement in Update 2 there, although when I turn back to the main bar area, it does tend to sort of go in a little bit more of a similar pattern on both. So that might be something to do with the culling that has been updated in Update 2. I think they did specifically mention that in the update notes as well. And again, you can see as I come out of the elevator and down into the hangar area, you can see that I'm running back up to 90 FPS on Update 2, and Update 1 isn't doing too badly, but there is certainly more fluctuations, I would say, in Update 1 here, but it's pretty good on both in this section actually, but I think there is still an improvement in Update 2. And back in the cockpit, we can see that I'm back to 45 FPS locked reprojection there in that stage, but you can still see that the frame timings are similar, but then I think it sort of edges more towards Update 2 in certain places, like that system map and stuff like that, but the reprojection ratio also tells a story here as well, where in Update 1 we're getting 41.2% reprojection, and then in Update 2 we're getting 18.5% reprojection. So there are some differences here. We've also got double drop frames on Update 1, whereas on Update 2 we only dropped 4, it was 8 on Update 1. There isn't a great deal of difference though in terms of moment to moment performance here. It's both are performing pretty similarly. In fact, in some sections it looks like Update 1 does take the lead in terms of frame timings in certain sections as well. And then when we're out away from the station, performance generally does improve here. You can see that they both more or less maintain 90 FPS with occasional dips here and there as well, but yeah, it's both pretty good here. And then as we approach the planet's surface, again these are different planets, so that might account for something, but they're both pretty good. I will say that it looks like Update 2 is fluctuating very slightly more here, but again that could be down to just the planet types. It's difficult because if I had been in the same location for both, it would have been a benefit, I'm sure, but we can still get a general idea of how things are going here. You can also still see that the reprojection ratio overall is better in Update 2 than it is in Update 1. So I think that says something overall, but specific sections, sometimes it leans more towards Update 1, sometimes it leans more towards Update 2. I would say on balance it's more Update 2 that is improved. However, this section is completely different, and again this is probably part of the side-by-side comparison that you can disregard for the most part, because these are two completely different settlements, and it does look like the one in Update 2 that I'm showing is far more built up than in update 1. So, you know, we've got to take that with a pinch of salt, because performance was actually worse in update 2 during that section, unfortunately. So overall, I would say that there have been specific improvements in certain areas on update 2, but the improvements haven't been overwhelming, and you'll see from a lot of the frame timings that I'm showing here that frame timings are very similar throughout, but occasionally you'll see that update 2 does take the lead in most of the sections, with update 1 still winning here and there as well. So I don't know, I think you can put a lot of this down to things not being absolutely identical in both of these tests. I think it still gives us an overall idea of where the improvements have been made though, especially when you look at it inside that station. When I was looking out through the window to the large open area of the station, and I was maintaining 90 FPS quite comfortably in update 2, whereas in update 1 we were still getting the fluctuations, and it wasn't until I turned around and faced the bar again in update 2 that I got those fluctuations back there. So I think that points to the fact that they have made some improvements in the culling, so that anything that is out of line of sight is not necessarily being rendered, or is not using as many system resources and things like that. So I think it has helped out in some ways. But that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching this very brief side by side. I just wanted to show it. I recorded the footage, so I thought I'll upload it, but I think in some areas, because of the differences in the exact locations like that settlement, we could probably disregard some of those results. But we'll see how it goes in the next update, and I'm looking forward to talking a little bit more about that. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.